It's time to learn, repair, and maintain everything coffee. Instructional videos brought to you by WholeLatteLove.com.
Hi, I'm Todd with Whole Latte Love. Today we're going to take a look at how you can tear down and clean the boiler on your Gaggia Classic. Well, actually, any Gaggia semi-automatic espresso machine that has an aluminum boiler. So that may include the Evolution, older style espresso, and the Gaggia babies, whether it's the Twin or the Class, or even most of the older style ones. If you have a really old one, it'll be similar but not identical, but this will still tell you how to get in there and get it done. Okay, so without further ado, we'll jump into the Classic, and we'll go through that. And first we'll take off the top here. Now every machine you work on is going to be a little bit different. This screw's missing, so don't bother with that screw. This machine, I found lying around back there, so I don't have any idea what we're getting into when we get into here.
Could get some surprises?
Oh, yes, we could. Okay, so we're looking at here, whatever machine you have, you want to make sure that you know how to put the wires back on after you take them apart. So what I like to do is number them. So I'll get a 1 on that, 2, and nice writing, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what you can do, take your phone, maybe take a picture, because everybody's got a phone that likes to take pictures, or you could just make a little diagram. So I'm just going to do that real quick here. F for front, 2, there, and I got there and there. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there'll be 2 wires that come down to the bottom, way down in here, and that can be 7 and 8, or wires that you just won't put a number on. It doesn't matter if these get switched or not. F for front, so that shows where the front of the machine is.
Makes putting things together a whole lot easier.
Oh yeah, otherwise calls will go, what are these wires for? Okay, so I'll try and do this quickly because this could be a long video. Okay, for the Classic, got to push this in here, these little clips. Can you see them?
Mm-hmm.
And that'll come forward. Get that out of the way. And hopefully at home you have a long 5mm T-handle. If not, you can loosen these later. But if you do have it, it's nice to loosen these now. Just kind of cracking them loose. There's 4 of them on each corner of the boiler.
So that's just the screws holding the boiler in place? And then
It holds the top part of the boiler to the brew group.
Oh, okay.
You can do this later, but it's a lot easier because if you do it now, the whole brew group's in place. You don't.
Sure. It's kind of held in place for you while you're
exactly. You don't need. So you need 2 hands to hold it. Okay.
Right.
Take off 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on this machine, this is already taken out. Here's a fuse link that's normally underneath this here. It was already taken out. Like I say, I don't know where this machine came from. I just grabbed it out of a pile back there.
It's one of our surprises.
Yeah.
Not a big one.
Take off 5 and 6. And now we'll tip the machine on its back, and we'll loosen these here. Okay, this one will be I believe a 4mm. Now this will take out the whole brew group. First I'm just going to loosen each one a little bit. Now my hardest part is my organization, so what I've done is I've got a little spot I can...
The old magnetic tray.
Yeah. Did a video before and I didn't have it and pieces were all over the place. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tip it back up and finish this one. Well, it's like that so the boiler doesn't actually fall when I'm doing this.
So when that one's out, we're going to be able to pull the boiler out the
Yeah,
top?
exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, we got to loosen a couple more things. I need to get off of here. Okay. 17mm wrench. Loosen this. Again, I would recommend doing this before you take all the screws out of the bottom. Okay, that's off. Pull this tube off. See that one?
Which tube is that? Okay.
This comes from this it's an OPV. Regulates your brew pressure and as a safety.
Okay.
And then we've got to get off this black tube here off the top of the three-way solenoid valve. Let's see if I don't have my little needle nose here, so I use my fingers. Okay. And take off your steam knob. Now we can start to work this up. Now you still have a couple wires attached to it. And we got a little clip down here I want to get off. Let's see.
Clean up that clip.
Actually, never mind. I'll do this an easier way.
Okay.
I should have taken this off here. I'm so excited to get the boiler apart. See what's inside. So we take off this nut that holds this tube to the pump.
Okay.
Okay. Now we still have a couple wires attached here, and I've got to grab a tool to do that. There's a small wire tie down here. We'll get this off. See that?
Yep.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, now we got these wires over here we didn't get off yet. These are from the brew thermostat. These were our 7/8,
Okay.
which we don't, I'll number them in a minute. And then we've got wires from our solenoid valve here, a black and white one.
Those guys are okay.
Okay. But we should be able to finagle this out of here. Okay, so there's the boiler out. I'll come back down here and I'll get my 7 and 8 so I don't forget. 8. Okay, and these last two wires go to the solenoid valve.
Okay. And when those get put back, it's not going to make a difference which side or what?
Correct, it makes no difference. Okay, now we want to get inside the boiler. Now there could be some water in the boiler, so we're going to
Have a tray handy?
a tray, yep. Okay, back to this. Now again, the reason we're taking this apart could be for a bunch of reasons. It could be because you haven't descaled it a long time, and if you do descale it after it has not been descaled, you may find big chunks of scale might break off and get caught in the solenoid valve. That will cause reduced water flow through the brew group. You'll notice that your shots are taking longer. You've hit the brew button without the handle in, and you notice water's flowing really slowly. It means this solenoid valve is probably plugged up.
So that's a good reason to keep up on regular descaling to avoid
Correct.
issues like that. Because if you go too long without descaling, you'll more likely to have that problem.
Correct. Okay, so we see the water coming out. See the minerals start to build up inside there?
Yeah, that's the stuff that gets
Exactly.
stuck in things.
It's all stuck in things. So right now the steam valve is closed. Now here's a gasket. We recommend putting a new one of these on, but if you don't have it, a lot of times they will work, but if you're in there,
Might as well.
yeah, you might as well. Exactly. So one way to descale these, leave the steam valve closed. Set this into a dry. Let me empty this out here. Okay, and we'll get some hot water, and you will pour it into here, and you get some descaler. Like the Gaggia descaler here will work.
That stuff hurt your hands if you get it on your hands, the descaling.
It hasn't hurt my hands. But,
Okay. You're using it like almost every day.
well, I would recommend use rubber gloves.
Okay.
Just for, yeah,
Safeties.
get some descale in there, then put a little hot water in that and let it set. That should do a pretty good job of cleaning that out. After you're done with that, you can take a little wire brush, not a really heavy duty wire brush,
Mm-hmm.
and you get in there and you just kind of clean it off real good. You don't want to score it too much, but just clean it out.
Right.
You know, use, I don't know what to call common sense, but whatever you see just to get it out. So that's good for cleaning out the boiler.
And about how long you sitting in that descaler usually?
20 minutes or so, but you can go longer, it's not going to hurt it.
Okay. Going long
Yeah.
isn't going to hurt.
Correct. Okay, now that we're in there, let's show you the rest of this. Got this copper tube here that comes out. You can soak that in the descaler also to clean that out. Over here, we have the three-way solenoid valve. This is probably the key part to all this. You want to get that out.
This is where a lot of those clogs happen.
Correct. This is where there's small pores. What this does when you're brewing, when you turn off the brew button, this solenoid valve becomes de-energized and opens a path from the brew group up through the valve, on through a tube off the top into the drip tray. Relieves the water pressure off the coffee when you're done brewing.
Gives you those dry pucks.
Exactly. Okay. So we'll just take this right apart. Okay, so 14 millimeter, we'll take this top nut off. And get some stuff out of the way here so I don't make too much of a mess. Put my screws somewhere where they belong. And you might want to keep them separate because there's different length screws on some of these. These all be the same, but a lot of times you'll have different ones. Okay, got a little washer there. Okay, got our O-rings here. Got a little pick. Careful not to hurt, damage these. If you get underneath them, pry them out, you should be good, but be really careful, otherwise you're gonna have to replace them, which is not a terrible thing to have to do. And we'll open this up. Again, a 14 millimeter wrench. And you'll just need a wrench to hold against yourself here. Okay, now, when you take this apart, pay attention how it comes apart. Here's your base. Then there's this plunger in here that goes up and down. See the spring?
Mm-hmm.
Got to make sure you have the right side facing up. Okay?
That's not good.
Exactly. See? Because when this, little fun fact, this is basically a magnet. So when you hit the brew switch, this energizes, pulls that up, closes off the water flow from out the top here, and lets the water flow through this opening, up through here, back down through that other little opening out there, back to the brew group.
It's a tiny little hole in there.
Yes, and that's what can get clogged up.
And that's what gets clogged up.
Yeah, so I would take this and descale this whole thing. Just take this, drop this right into some descaler and let it sit. And that should clean it out. Take a little pin, clean that out. And then if you have compressed air, not everybody has that at home, but blow it out. Just make sure it's good and clean. That's the key thing to do. And you can clean this off. I don't really want to put this rubber in descaler. You can do it for a short period of time because this rubber stopper has to stay intact. That's what seals against there.
Okay.
And also do this for a couple minutes to descaler to get any clean out of there, but the rubber O-rings you don't really want to leave in the descaler for too long. So that's just 3-way solenoid valve, and then you just put her back together.
And how did that one look? I mean, it looks...
That's not too bad. The key thing is, you're going to have some scale and some minerals around it, but that's all right. The key is not unplugged, but obviously, the cleaner the better.
Right.
I'm not going to take the time to clean this right now. This video is going to be long.
Right.
Yeah, so,
And we're 13 minutes.
yeah, and exciting. So just put that back together.
It's exciting if it gets you your espresso back.
Yeah,
Right? Espresso,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see, try and get on this in such a way where. Come on, Tess. What am I doing here? There we go. Fumble it around like an amateur. Not the first time. Get on there, you. Well, you gotta get better glasses. Ah, come on, you. How's that looking, Mark?
You're good, no? No?
Okay. Slide that back on. And your washer. And your nut. And snug the nut down. That's 14. Yep.
Now, if you didn't clean out that boiler, you could just be putting some more gook back in there that's going to clog it right back up.
Yep, definitely.
So you really want to clean that boiler out. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, or you will have problems again. And then you have to do it all over again.
Right.
Okay, now, the group head. While we're here, let's clean this out. Take out the shower screen. Don't strip this screw. They strip pretty easily. Be careful with that. Make sure you have a good sized screwdriver on there.
You want to match up the screwdriver to the
Exactly.
screw pretty well.
Take out our shower screen there, and then we have to take out these two Allen screws here. This is called the shower holding plate. Loosen these up. Now to get to this part, you don't actually have to take it out of the machine. You can do it right in the machine.
Right.
Yeah, so if you just want to get this cleaned out, not doing the whole hullabaloo because you think you're good, but coffee, this is different. Coffee will build up in here, not necessarily too much scale. Now sometimes this is coming right out because it's not in bad shape. Sometimes it'll be really hard to get out, so you'll have to get a screwdriver in there and really pry on it. You may even want to, if it's up in the machine or wherever, take a screwdriver on like that, take a little hammer and just tonk it like,
Taps.
little shock.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that one is pretty nice. Pretty
Yeah,
safe.
little scale in there. You know,
But you have one around that's pretty gross. Where's that one?
over here. That's pretty
So,
bad.
so it can look like that, and maybe at that point it's time just to replace
It, or you can you can soak it in maybe some kefita with some hot water. Does a nice job. In the scaler, and you get a scraper and scrape it off. You can clean them up. Little wire brush. If you have a sandblaster, that'll do it. There's ways to do it. It's just a matter of how much you want to put into it.
Sure.
Or you can just buy another
Clean
one.
it
Like
or
that.
buy another one.
Yeah, you make the call.
Okay.
Okay, and your group gasket. So it's nice to replace those. Sometimes you get a pick in there and you can pick it out. Okay, that'll ruin it, but it'll get it out.
Get it out. But if it's all dried up, it's not going to seal well.
Yeah.
Or
It
it's
most-
kind of brittle.
Exactly. Most likely you'll have a really brittle one. You can chip it out, or sometimes you can just take a screw. Even if they're
that's
brittle,
right.
you can put a screw into it, like this. If you get a couple of one on the other side, and you take some pliers and just kind of pull on it. Put one here, one here, one here, or a few, and it'll come right out.
Right.
And if you got to get in there and chip on it, you can do that too. With a hammer and screwdriver. So this is probably gonna be full of coffee, and it's gonna be a mess also. So you can take some kefita up in here again with this, hot water, maybe a cap of that, and then get a brush, a group brush, and just brush this whole thing out. Wear safety glasses. You don't want to get this in your eyes. Just be
Right.
careful. Be smart about it, and get that all good and clean. Rinse it off real good, and you can take this whole thing out. You can also soak this whole thing in descaler. So any scale in the ports here get cleaned out. But before you do that, I would recommend pulling off your OPV here, overpressure valve, what it stands for. And it's also known as a safety valve. What this thing does, just for the fun of it, pump pressure comes into here. Underneath here is a spring-loaded valve. And when it gets too high a pressure, whether it's a safety reason or you're brewing, when the pressure builds up, it'll be excess water back to the reservoir through this opening up here. Okay, just take this and get a container with some descaler. Again, the Gaggia scaler works good. I bring hot water, just drop in, and let it sit 20 minutes, half an hour. It's not going to hurt it. And just take it, rinse it off real good, brush out whatever you have to, and you should be good to go with that. What else we got, Mark? We're in here. We pretty much got the whole thing torn down.
Okay.
Now it's just a matter of putting it back together.
Did you want to take a look at maybe what some of those other boilers look like?
Oh, good idea. Okay, over here. So this is one we just took out of the classic. It looks just like this.
Yeah.
This is one from an Evolution or an old Gaggia espresso with an espresso deluxe. This does not have the opening for the three-way solenoid valve. This has a group valve assembly in it, which is this piece here. It takes the place of the three-way solenoid valve. These will, over time, they'll leak, and they have to be worked on. The solenoid valves, they close up a lot better, and they're more positive acting. But to get to these, take off your screw, and shower screen out. Doing the exact same thing we did with the other machine. About these 5 millimeters. The way this group valve assembly works is when the pump goes on, pressure builds up inside of it, inside the boiler, and it pushes down on a little spring-loaded valve. And when it gets up to enough pressure, it opens and releases the water onto your coffee. Okay. So here's what you see when you get inside there. And you want to take this out.
So a machine that has three-way solenoid valve like classic will not have this.
That is
part.
correct.
That three-way solenoid valve serves that purpose. Anyway,
Yep. Okay, so you want to open this up. Let's see here. This is where my hands always do good, huh? Come on.
There she goes.
Okay. Kind of getting a mess with my tools already.
Yeah.
Okay, open this up. Inside here, you have this little rubber valve seat. Now you get minnows built up on that, and when it does, the pressure inside the boiler, which is above, come down through the hole here onto this, and water will leak by it. So this is, you want to keep this clean, and descaling will help with that. But over time, you may just want to replace this.
Okay.
Okay, you can replace the whole valve, and you'll get this and this piece, and you can just screw it right in. You may find what happens is when you pull this out, this piece is still in there, and you're like, uh-oh, because it's hard to get out.
Okay.
Did you like? So what you can use is an extractor like this. You can get in there, and that'll just get a wrench on that, and you should be able to pull it right out.
Okay.
We also made ourselves up nice little tools, but you don't have one of those, so I guess we're not going to worry about
Like
it.
a really fat, short.
Yeah, like this here.
To get into those notches.
Exactly, fits in those notches right there.
Okay.
Okay. So that's that. We got that covered?
Yep. Yep.
Sounds good. Okay, so now we got a big old mess in front of us here. You want to put it back together?
Yeah. Let's put it back.
Okay. Well, let's kind of see how we did over here. Oopsie. Yeah. Clean that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's still some scale in there, but it's loose. You can see how it's coming out. So at this point, you would take your brush and you give it a little wire brush and work it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So putting it back together. You put your little copper piece back on. There we go. It's in there. And I don't have a new group gasket, so just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to put this old one back in. Just slide it in there. Should fit pretty good. We'll get our, let's see, shower holding plate back in. Oops. These two larger screws, the 5 millimeters. I think it's time for some stronger reading glasses. Sure, I have a hard time seeing this stuff.
We're getting older, Todd.
Yeah, I like to say getting better, but
Getting better.
not necessarily.
So you crank those Allen heads in there pretty good.
Yeah, got them there pretty good.
Yeah.
They don't have to be stupid tight.
Right.
They're not going anywhere.
And
Okay.
Be careful of that screw with a shower screen.
Correct. Yeah, don't strip that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then make sure your O-rings are nice and clean. Put these back in. Pretty much just reversing the process.
Right.
All this. Yeah, I do like to machine through the 3 isoline valves because they do seal really well. Getting there is a little more difficult to clean, and it's possible. If you have the right Allen wrench, you may be able to get this out without taking the whole boiler out. It's tricky.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's tricky, but it can be done. But then again, if your soldering valve is plugged, you probably ought to have other minnows in the boiler.
So you really got to get those out, or it might
It's-
just happen again.
You'll be doing it all over again. And that's
So this whole, the clogging that valve tends to have, it can happen like if you haven't kept up on descaling, then go descale your machine, you loosen some of that stuff up in the boiler, and it ends up in that solenoid valve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, because there are small ports in there.
So the lesson is,
keep up on descaling.
Keep up on
Probably every
descaling.
3 months would be a good idea to do.
So if you have harder water, probably, you know, a little more often. Depends on usage too, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, even water just sitting in there, even if you're not using it,
Okay,
we'd recommend doing it.
yeah.
Okay, and we'll get our, which boiler was ours? This one?
That
here?
one, yeah.
That one here, okay. Make sure your O-ring is nice and clean, no scale on it. Maybe a little on here, but I don't have time to run out and get another one, so put that right in there. That goes to the back. Steam valve goes off to the right. Let's see. Get our 5mm screws in here.
I like those T-handle wrenches.
Yeah, they're very,
Makes life a lot easier.
yes, it does.
And what kind of, so you're cranking those down?
Yeah, you don't have to crank too hard, but get them pretty tight,
Okay.
cross pattern.
Yeah.
Like if we were changing a tire, maybe your papa told you, oh, when you do this, you do a cross pattern, tighten better.
Yeah.
Gee, I just taught my son how to change a tire. He was actually pretty good at it. Okay, I'm gonna take this off because we're gonna have to, he's 12, by the way.
He's fun.
Yeah. Okay, well, there we are, all back together. Now the little sticker in here. Put it on. There's going to be 2 wires we have here that go to the solenoid valve. It's going to be hard to see in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll get through it.
Yeah.
Also, the reading glasses could be a little stronger.
There are the,
That one and that one.
those are the ones we left unnumbered at the start, right?
Correct. And
And
I
it
got
makes no difference which terminal on the solenoid valve.
correct. I got my 7 and 8. They're the ones from the brew thermostat down here going on. Okay. Drops into the hole. I'll get my screws to hold this in place from the bottom. Again, it's good to have nimble fingers.
Oh, yeah.
As you can see earlier, I don't. Okay. Okay, once you get two started, I like to do these 2 first.
Okay.
Then you can tip the machine on its back and just snug them down. They'll tighten them all the way down.
Yeah, 'cause you're kind of working blind there, huh?
Yeah. I've been accused of that before.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah. Now you get these. When you do the top ones, the boiler will swing into place.
Right.
Much easier to get at them. Okay. And last one here. Okay, now for the exciting world of watching me turn some screws in. Well, while we're here, so this opening here, this by the way, comes from the 2-way solenoid valve. So the rubber, all the water that comes off the solenoid valve when you turn off the brew switch, comes down through here into the drip tray. There's
There's a drip tray there.
exactly. Yeah, a little cross pattern just for the fun of it. Maintain proper procedure. Okay, groups in place. Now start to put our wires back on. Well, first we'll get this one wire that was off when we started, the fuse link.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes there.
Oh, you're looking for the little,
Yeah, it'll show up. Took it off. Oh, there it is. Okay.
that's just like a hold down for that?
Exactly. Yeah. this is there in case the boiler overheats for some crazy reason. This will shut it off. It's a one-time fuse. If it goes, you have to replace it.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess this video can kind of show you how to get to that, huh?
Yeah. Fusible link, they call it?
They call it fuse link, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pull out my instructions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's 1, 2, 4.
Oh, you're out of order. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. 5 and 6, go back over here. Now we just gotta see where, oh, there's 3. Right away on me. Okay, 3's in place. At this point, you can put your wiring back in. Did I mention unplug the machine?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It just clicks into place.
If it was plugged in, you might not be able to mention that, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Okay, three-way solenoid valve. This tube goes back on the top.
it's got that little,
Yeah, I have to get some needle
Hose
nose,
clamp.
open that up, and then push that hose clamp down.
yeah.
Rubber tube. This one goes to your OPV safety valve, hooks onto there.
And that
Pump.
has no hose clamp.
Nope.
It just sits,
Just sits out. There's
not,
no pressure.
Not a lot of pressure in there.
Exactly.
Right.
And we tighten down the tube that goes to our pump. And grab our 12 millimeter and snug that down. Don't over tighten. We'll get our steam valve tube, our steam pipe hooked back up. Okay. And that's a 17 millimeter. Just be careful your wires here, and this stub coming out there. You don't want to hit that. That will take all the fun out of the whole project. And I believe we have it all back together. And just put your top on. That's a pretty simple procedure. This top piece here slides inside that little groove there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then pick it up, kind of bend this in place. And we only have one screw for some reason. Other disappeared. Like I say, I don't know where the machine came from. Tighten that down, put your other screw on there.
Steam knob.
Put your steam knob back on. Yep. And that is pretty much it.
There we go.
Yeah, I think we have everything covered. Of course, there's probably a little something or other that I missed in there, but once you see how to get in there, how to take it apart, put it back together. If you do have any questions, obviously you can give us a call. We can help you through it. But that's basically it. So, Todd from Whole Latte Love, and I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.
Hey, why not subscribe now for easy free access to more videos on everything coffee, brought to you by WholeLatteLove.com. It's time to learn, repair, and maintain everything coffee. Instructional videos brought to you by WholeLatteLove.com.
Hi, I'm Todd with Whole Latte Love. Today we're going to take a look at how you can tear down and clean the boiler on your Gaggia Classic. Well, actually, any Gaggia semi-automatic espresso machine that has an aluminum boiler. So that may include the Evolution, older style espresso, and the Gaggia babies, whether it's the Twin or the Class, or even most of the older style ones. If you have a really old one, it'll be similar but not identical, but this will still tell you how to get in there and get it done. Okay, so without further ado, we'll jump into the Classic, and we'll go through that. And first we'll take off the top here. Now every machine you work on is going to be a little bit different. This screw's missing, so don't bother with that screw. This machine, I found lying around back there, so I don't have any idea what we're getting into when we get into here.
Could get some surprises.
Oh, yes, we could. Okay, so we're looking at here, whatever machine you have, you want to make sure that you know how to put the wires back on after you take them apart. So what I like to do is number them. So I'll get a 1 on that, 2, and nice writing, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what you can do, take your phone, maybe take a picture, because everybody's got a phone that likes to take pictures, or you could just make a little diagram. So I'm just going to do that real quick here. F for front, 2, there, and I got there and there. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there'll be 2 wires that come down to the bottom, way down in here. And that can be 7 and 8, or wires that you just won't put a number on. It doesn't matter if these get switched or not. F for front, so that shows where the front of the machine is.
Makes putting things together a whole lot easier.
Oh yeah, otherwise calls will go, what are these wires for? Okay, so I'll try and do this quickly because this could be a long video. Okay, for the classic, gotta push this in here, these little clips. Can you see them?
Mm-hmm.
And that'll come forward. Get that out of the way. And hopefully at home you have a long 5mm T-handle. If not, you can loosen these later. But if you do have it, it's nice to loosen these now. Just kind of crack them loose. There's 4 of them on each corner of the boiler.
So that's just the screws holding the boiler in place? And then
It holds the top part of the boiler to the brew group.
Oh, okay.
You can do this later, but it's a lot easier because if you do it now, the whole brew group's in place. You don't
Sure,
yeah,
It's kind of held in place for you while you're
exactly. You don't need, so you need 2 hands to hold it. Okay,
Right.
take off 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on this machine, this is already taken out. Here's a fuse link that's normally underneath this here. It was already taken out. Like I say, I don't know where this machine came from. I just grabbed it out of a pile back there.
It's one of our surprises.
Yeah.
Not a big one.
Take off 5 and 6. And now we'll tip the machine on its back, and we'll loosen these here.